Hi, we're going to go ahead and get right to it. First, I'd like to talk about the voting that just happened. We just had a runoff election here in Augusta, Georgia. And I'd like to talk about the amount of voters that's actually registered. We have 34,000 registered voters, and about less than 10% of those voters actually went out Tuesday for the runoff election, you know. And I just feel like that's a low rate, especially for us, because people died for the right to vote. So I feel like it's really important to know what's going on locally, not just the presidential elections, but any election. It's important to know what's going on in your city so that you'll know, you know, what your rights are and are not, and who's fighting for your rights. You know?
I think that's one of the main issues. Is most people always focus on you need to go vote, you need to go vote, but what good is your vote going to count if you don't even know who you're voting for?
Right.
You might as well not vote at all. So I think we need to start focusing more on educating people on who's running and what they stand for and what they plan to bring once they get in office. I think that's a big problem.
Well, I think it's hard enough to get people to go out the first time to an election. So runoff elections, they always have really low turnout, unless, you know, at least here in this area. And I think probably one of the things you were saying about the presidential election, people always think that that's the election that's the most important. But if you think about it, your local election is so much more important, because these people affect what you're going to pay for taxes, what, you know, how your roads are going to be, all those kind of things that affect you every single day. You know,
and you don't hear as much about those local elections. More, all you hear is about the presidential election, and a lot of people pay no attention.
Right. And I completely agree with that. I feel like the media outlets and the way we use YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, the same way you can put up a poster and say, vote for me, you should say, this is why I need you to vote for me.
Right.
This is what I'm doing for you. Like you said, reaching out to the community a little bit better and saying, hey, I'm not just doing this. I'm not just being a Senate and running for this. I'm fighting for this right and that right, and I'm fighting for you to get this and that. And if people understood more, I'm sure they would go out more.
Especially for young people, you know, just getting out of college, like, especially if you don't like politics. Like, I don't like politics, so I need someone to tell me, okay, well, this is what this means, and these are the certain people that you need to be looking at. Because if you don't know, if you don't like politics, you're definitely not gonna pay attention.
Right.
So, well, I think too, going back to what you were saying, as far as like they need to be more expressive as far as what's going on with the different policies and, you know, what they're fighting for, what their platform is. One of those, I think one of that whole thing is like, we're not demanding that, you know. A lot of it here seems to be, and probably not just here, everywhere, but it's based on a popularity contest, who you know, and so
I'm black, so I go Democratic.
I agree. So we don't demand for them to tell us, prove what you've done. Why do you need to be reelected? What's your record? What, you know, did you make any progress while you were there? And until we start, you know, asking for those and demanding those, you know, platforms and different things like that, they're not going to do it.
I agree, and I feel like that goes back to just being expressive in your community. Like, you have to go out to the press conferences. You have to go out when they say, hey, I'm going to be here today. And you have to ask those questions like, well, why am I voting for you? Not just because you're Democrat or Republican, but why else am I voting for you? What can you do for me, like me as a parent? What can you do for me with my child in school? What can you do with me with my taxes, like you were saying? The things that are important to us. Taxes are going up every day. Why? What are we paying for? Who wants to keep building up the Augusta Nationals when we have people that don't have food and homes and stuff? What are we doing for them? What are we doing for each other? So I really feel like that's important. And that's going to switch the gear to talk about Eric Garner. As most of you may know or may not know, he was killed in Staten Island, New York, and he was in a aggressive chokehold by police officers. I believe it was about 4 or 5 police officers that jumped on him. And what happened was, the story goes that he was breaking up a fight, and then the police officers came to him, and he was about, what, 400 to 450 pounds, something like that?
350 to 400.
350 to 400 pounds. He was a big guy, and he was breaking up a fight, and the police officers was saying, you know, calm down, calm down. And he was like, hey, y'all, don't touch me, don't touch me. You know how it goes. Don't touch me. I didn't do anything wrong. Don't come at me. And they jumped on him, and they choked him. So what's your opinion on what happened?
I think it's a very touchy subject. One, because the police officers involved were white and this man was black, and that always allows the race card to be pulled first. But even though it looks that it might have been racially targeted, I always want to be impartial to that, because people are so quick to go, oh, it's race, it's race, it's race. But at the same time, if you just look at the facts of it, this man was, it was just too much aggression used on this man. Right. He was asthmatic, and he was telling them that, you know, I can't breathe. But on the other side of the police officers, once you're in a serious situation, you're in the heat of the moment. You're just trying to stop whatever's going on. So I can see both sides. But at the end of the day, I think it was just too much aggression on one person.
Well, I think part of it is you listen to what he was saying. It sounded like he felt like the police are always harassing him. So, you know, he was like, y'all always messing with me, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I'd be interested to find out the deeper history that goes on in this situation. Like, is this one of the areas where police kind of just use their force, you know, are always, you know, stereotyping and singling certain people out, you know? But in that particular situation, I think if you have someone, he didn't have a weapon, he wasn't making any violent, you know, aggressive moves towards the police officers. His tone, they might have felt, was maybe, you know, inappropriate. But if he didn't actually, you know, make any aggressive movements towards them, I think for maybe 5 people to jump him, and it was a little obsessive. And then him saying that he could not breathe, and you continue to choke him.
And I mean, they're standing by the law in New York. They're basically saying, which goes back to voting for your senators. It's a Republican area. And they're basically saying that the voters, it's a law that the cops say that over a certain amount of weight, for, you know, say if you're 400 pounds, then you can have 3 or 4 cops on you. So that's okay. It's passable. But what I don't understand is, if he doesn't have a gun, if he's not charging at you or anything, why can't you say get on your knees? Why can't you say put your hands up? Put your hands behind your back? We didn't see any of that. No rights were read. None of that stuff was on that video before this man was killed.
Well, they didn't even say he was under arrest. I mean,
exactly. They just can't. They just charged at him. And I mean, the one thing that, and like you said, it's easy to pull the race card, and I don't want to pull a race card. It's a right or wrong card. Exactly. I just feel like it was wrong, and I feel like for us, we need to going back to the first beginning, we need to make sure that we're voting for the right people that's standing up for our rights in general. And like you were saying, what type of area is this? I was listening to Ricky Smiley, and he was basically saying Tuesday morning that, you know, get the cops in your area that lives in that area, that knows those people, that know, oh, you know, that's just Big Tim, he crazy, come on, man, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Get the people that's in that area that understands you. I understand what you're going through, I understand what you've been through, but the cops are not here to hurt you. We're here to make sure that we enforce the law. So I think that's a thing too, because we all get on the defense. What they coming at me for, you know? And I'm not saying that he was right or that they were wrong. I'm just saying that it got to be something better than what happened with him.
Go ahead. In addition to that, you also have to know your rights too. I was listening to Ricky Smiley this past week, and he said that you honestly have to know what your rights are, so you will know how to react. That's how a lot of these incidents happen. You don't know what you're allowed to do or what you're not allowed to do, so you just act off the cuff, and that's how a lot of these situations happen. So you really, really need to look up your rights and know what you can and can't do when it comes to these police officers, because they know we don't know. We do not know. So you really have to inform yourself.
I think one thing too that this is just, I would say, culturally, is not only with, you know, police officers, but I think just with authority figures in general. A lot of times black men or black boys seem to have problems communicating. Instead of just, you know, like I said, his tone, they take it as aggressive, and that puts them on the defense already. When you can kind of just sit down and have a conversation, you don't need to raise your voice. Just explain yourself eloquently, what you're doing, the situation. No officers, no need for you to, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, they automatically kind of get on the defense. And then, so, like you said, you start kind of yelling and, you know, raising your voice, and that puts them on the defense. So that's something I think probably, like I said, just across the board culturally, if we could work with our young men and get them to a place where they could communicate, you know, better, and just know how to react better in situations like that, and knowing your rights could help. You know, you know you're not in the wrong. You don't have any reason to be upset. So,
and that's where I think they weren't wrong in the fact, like, this man is loud, he's belligerent, so they're gonna be on the defense. They're gonna have their guard up, because their life is on the line too. They don't know what this man is going to do. But I think where the wrong came in is just such excessive aggression upon him. So
yeah,
it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. We're going to go ahead and switch gears now. We were real deep. Now we're going to start talking about marital affairs. I guess we can call it that. We're going to start with the Tiny song, her response to T.I., and it's called What You Gonna Do? And it's basically a song saying, you know, I've been there for you, I've been there all these years, I've done this, I've done that, what are you gonna do? And it's a song that basically, ironically, both songs dropped on the same day. He came out with a song called Stay.
Yeah.
And I just really thought it was real cute and sweet until Brittany made me listen to it again, and she was like, listen to these lyrics, listen to what they're both saying. You know, she's saying, you know, he want me, and he's saying, well, you know, they want me too, and all this stuff. And basically it's a public way for them to out what's going on, but they're a very public family anyway. They already have the TV show, and I feel like they're giving us a piece of their lives with, you know, in a respectable way. I'm just going to be honest. She didn't say, oh, whatever, you cheating on me, I'm going to do it back to you. You know, he didn't say, man, forget you, I got other girls. They basically were saying, we can either fight or we can get right, and we can get back together. And I honestly respect it. I feel like it was done in a tasteful manner, and I feel like they're trying to work things out. And if they're musicians, that's how they get out. Just like if you're a painter, you're going to paint a painting. If you're a songwriter, you're going to write a song. That's what they do. So how do you feel about their relationship being in songs?
Well, I thought it was really interesting. Just listening, like you said, to both songs, and even looking at her video. Okay, like, to me, I think there's some times where, you know, people kind of give the song, you might think the song is about somebody, but you don't really know for sure. No, you know, like her video, she has like T.I., you know, sleeping next to her in the bed, and, you know,
in jail.
Then he disappeared in jail. She goes to the jail.
Yeah.
So just for me personally, I'm a really private person, so I wouldn't like to air my dirty laundry out for the world, you know. Like I said, if it was gonna be something, it would definitely be more incognito. Like, you might think that's what I'm talking about, but you don't know for sure, you know. I'd be like, oh, this is based on a friend situation, you know, something like that. But I don't know. I mean, I hope they work it out. I do like them as a couple, but my only one thing is, I would think with Tiny, is this probably, I'm sure this isn't something that started recently, and it's probably just been going on for a long time. I don't know if now she feels like he's being way too disrespectful with it or something like that, but I feel like what you start with is what you're going to get.
Exactly.
So if you started with that at the beginning, you can't be mad that now he's cheating. I mean, I think it's been rumors running rampant for a long time that T.I. has a lot of women and
babies,
you know, different things like that. So the timing for me is just interesting. Like, I guess what happened to break the straw on the camel's back?
Well, I could agree that she's probably getting tired, because every woman has their limits. They have their boundaries. And I think that all goes back to this ride or die woman. I think it really has a lot to do with what you define as a ride or die. I personally, that ride or die is such a cliche. Like, oh, I'm just going to stand by you through anything. That's not true. That's not true. But going back to the whole privacy issue, I'm a private person because I'm married, and I'm private. If me and my husband are out and we have a disagreement, you're not gonna know. He's still gonna be like, he's gonna have his arm around me, and we're gonna wait till we get in the car and drive down the street.
Right.
But at the same time, if you mess up, I feel like you need to do whatever you need to do to prove to me that this is what you really want. This is where you want to be. So if releasing a song, I see no shame in telling the world that I love this woman and I want to do anything I can to get her back. So I'm all for the whole public display of affection, but not airing the details of why we're arguing, because they're just public. That what they're going through is what another marriage is going through, what my marriage could be going through.
But I feel like when you put yourself on that pedestal, just like the Kardashians, like you were saying, just like anything like that, you're already out in the public. People already know what you're going through. And I feel like it's a way of them remaining real and saying, we go through real problems. Like, yeah, he was still cheating on me. Yes, I still love him. And yes, I'm still going to be there for him. But this is the last straw. Like, I thought you changed. Right. And you didn't. And you know, you promised me you changed. We got this TV show. I got all your kids. I'm taking care of all of them. I'm taking them all in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of kids to take on. Now, can you be a stepmom to all them babies? I couldn't. I'm going to be real with you. I cannot. Not gonna do it. But it's just one of those situations to where when you thought someone changed, and then rumors of a baby and all this stuff come out, and then you try to go back at him and do something to him to hurt him, it's already in the public anyway. everyone already knows y'all was messy from the beginning. Everyone already knows. So it's not like, oh, let's be private now. Let's just hide now. Go ahead and make a song about it. And I feel like the song shuts people up too. Like, shut up. I done put out a song. She done put out a song. Let us work on it.
Right.
Stop talking about it.
I guess that is right too. Now that you say that, because I think about they've been having issues going back and forth on Twitter, sending messages. You know, like these cryptic messages to each other. Even T.I.'s mom getting involved, saying, "Tiny, y'all need to talk." So now that you say it like that, I think about they have been kind of messy in public from the beginning. Right. So I guess this just
maybe this is just a way to be like, just let us deal now. We gave you a song.
I can appreciate the song. The songs are real. I can appreciate a real song. You know, straight from the point who we're talking about, what we're talking about. You need to get it together, baby. I'm sorry.
And it's not like he was like, you being ratchet and you just mediocre and all this stuff. You know, he said how he felt.
Yeah. But then and I listened to the song, his song as well. I didn't really hear him say, like, I'm not going to do it anymore.
No, he just was like, you know what I do to you. Yeah.
So,
it's like either we're going to keep fighting or we're going to make it work. Yeah. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah. He went like, I ain't going to do it.
But you know, they have their own connection. They have their own relationship. Maybe from the way he's saying it, she can understand that. I just can't.
Or maybe he's saying it so we all can understand it. He gonna continue to do it, and you gonna either put up with it or you not. But either way, like he said in the song, either way, I'm still gonna love you.
Right.
If you leave or if you stay, I'm gonna still love you.
I think it's one of those things too that with society, and I'm not gonna say not just with not with celebrities, but definitely celebrities take it to another level. But they kind of have this feeling that they can kind of do whatever they want and get away with it. People look at, rappers, athletes, and they just think, oh, well, that's how he is. That's what they're going to do. And the woman should just be okay with that. So, I guess like you said,
and it's the standards that you put up with in general. It doesn't matter if you're Susie from the block or if you Jenny on the block. Like, you should say, I'm not going to put up with this from Jump Street. You should know in your head and in your heart, I know what I can handle. And, you can't help who you fall in love with. You can't help what the heart wants, but you can help what you put up with.
Right.
From the beginning. Set that standard.
And that's what I said.
From relationship to relationship.
It does. It does, because it's certain, and, as grown women, it's certain things that we put up with John that we ain't going to put up with Tom. Like, okay, John put me through that, but Tom,
I'm not going there.
I'm not going back there no more. It's certain things that I allowed myself to endure and put up with so that I can get to this point to know what I'm not going to take on. So, but we do wish them the best of luck. And with that, a very public relationship. Now we're going to talk about a very private relationship gone public. The Beyonce and Jay supposed split without divorce. There's a lot of controversy around that. Why did she decide to go public and talk to the New York Daily News and Times with the quote that she gave? And so I was talking to you about it. You was like, well, yeah, they're really super private. I'm really surprised that this would happen. How do you feel about her coming out and actually voicing that?
Well, like I said, I'm just surprised because everything, even their when they were dating, their wedding, everything has been under wraps, and they're not like a Kanye and Kim, like out seeking attention, publishing pictures of the baby, stuff like that. So I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the article, but I was just really taken aback because part of it is, family is really important, and I know their image is really important too, especially with the tour. I don't know. I'm interested about the timing of this. Like, I'm wondering, is this something like for a promotion or ticket sales or anything? Because they're super private about everything that's going on. Even, we've heard rumors for a long time about Jay Z has another son somewhere and all this kind of stuff. But they've never came out and addressed anything. Even the whole situation in the elevator. Like, they just, keep it mute. Like, our family worked it out. Y'all don't need to worry about it.
I cannot believe that they did this as a publicity stunt for ticket sales. Or this is Beyonce and Jay Z. Right. Their tickets are going to sell regardless. And you can't put a timing on when your match is going to turn upside down. It just happened to be, matter of fact, this is the worst time, not for ticket sales, but you're supposed to be on stage with your husband or your wife, and y'all are the top couple of the world, and y'all are beefing backstage, and so you have to be fake on stage and try to convey to everybody that, oh, we're happy, and I love you, we Bonnie and Clyde, we're going to ride or die, and it's hard. So I definitely don't think this is a publicity stunt, but I just think when it comes to privacy and being public, it's a balance. Yeah. Because, like I said, me and my husband is very private. When things go on, you won't know about it. But we have no problem talking to people about the wrong that's going on in our relationship. Yeah, he did this, this, and this, and I did this, and we have no problem talking to anybody about that because it's over and done with, and we've learned from it.
So you have to get past it first. You just can't say, yeah, we going through this because you're still in the heat of the moment. You're still upset about it. I feel like once you get past, you can say, you know, we learned from this, and you know, he did his thing and I did my thing, but we learned together as a couple. But you know, going back to the whole private going public, I feel like the reason why they've gone public is, you know, allegedly he had about a lot of women, let's just say a lot of women in his dressing room, and they're in the same arenas. Of course, they're on tour together, so they're going to be in the same arenas. And a dancer, one of her dancers told her, hey, you know how it is, girl, you better go check on your man. I think he in there with homegirl. So she went in there and she opened the door, and she was very belligerent, and she said, y'all better run like the cockroaches that you are. Because she cut on the light and she said, y'all need to run like the cockroaches that you are. And I feel like someone from another entourage that's not loyal to her saw that and hadn't already said that to a news media outlet. So when the news media outlet contacts you and say, hey, either we can put out their statement and their video that they have, or you can make a statement that's clear and concise. So she, you know, going back to the whole Solange trying to jump on him in the elevator because he was cheating and all this other stuff, I feel like, you know, with that article, she might have just said, listen, okay, we're going to try to do this tour. We're going to try to be adults about this. And then we're going to work on it. But it's not going to be a divorce. We're going to work on it. We're going to take some time apart from each other. But we're still a family, and it's not a divorce. I'm not leaving my husband.
Every time something happens doesn't mean we have to get a divorce. Especially because you're in the spotlight. I completely agree. That just lets me know that you're taking every step possible. So at the end of the day, even if you do not make it in this marriage, we can say we took every avenue that we could to make sure this works. So I like that. All you can do is say you tried. That's all you can do is try.
So, okay. So, we're done with the whole relationships. Anything else on them that you guys want to talk about? Anything at all?
No, I mean, I'd just be interested to, you know, see how this plays out. Like I said, I'm just really surprised. I have to go look this up.
And I mean, everyone talking about surfboarding and all that stuff. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you got to do what's right for you and your relationship. Once again, you can't worship a person and an idol because they're going through the same personal things that you're going through, and it's just a testament to, you know, self-image and loving yourself and all that stuff, because you can look like Beyonce and be cheated on. You can be Halle Berry and be cheated on. It's about what you accept, going back to what you're saying, what you accept and what you're willing to put up with, because you don't know what is going on in these women's lives. You pray for their lives, you pray for their marriages, you pray for all this stuff, but you don't know what you're praying for. You don't know what you're asking for. So just be mindful of those things when you're looking at it. Oh, I wish I was her and I wish I looked like her and all that stuff. Be yourself and be happy with yourself and uphold your own morals, especially you women that's listening.
And these are regular people at the end of the day. The only difference is that their occupation is more in the spotlight than our occupation.
They got money.
They got a lot of money. They on a whole nother level on the tax bracket. A large.
So that whole thing too, though, like you said, they're in the same arena, because I do feel like even who is that? I mean, I know like there's different people like Chrissy and Jim. Right. Okay. No. I'm not gonna say that he hasn't ever stepped out on her, but he has a certain level of respect. She said, I won't ever know about it. You know, he's gonna keep. I just find it very hard to believe that Jay Z would be like that messy and sloppy. And that bold, like, to be like, oh, I don't care that you're in the next dressing room. I'm just gonna.
And there's always the risk of rumors, because Beyonce didn't come out and say, yes, I did call them cockroaches, and yes, they were in the room. She just said, yes, we're splitting without divorce. So you never know who's putting these rumors out there. There are thousands of people that work with them, and you never know who doesn't have your best interest at heart. I mean, everybody's trying to make a dollar.
And you never know about what cameras is in these dressing rooms, all this stuff. It's not like it's a control. They coming into this environment. Even you can control as much as you want, but it's still gonna leak. It's still gonna be things that you cannot control. It don't matter. People do it for the love of money, and they don't respect a marriage or what you're going through. So you never know how it got out. Oh well, we wish you well, all the couples that we've talked about, everyone else. So the last thing that we want to talk about today is the James Brown premiere of Get On Up. It was actually premiered here in Augusta, Georgia. And you know, some people's like, oh, whatever, but to me, I personally feel like it's a great deal, because even though it wasn't shot here in Augusta, which I think was shots fired, but I feel like them having the premiere here gave us a little taste of James Brown coming back and just honoring him. So how do you guys feel about the premiere being here?
I think that it was a great move for Augusta. I think they brought a lot of attention to Augusta because Augusta's, always been one of the 3 biggest cities of Georgia, but we don't really get as much attention as Atlanta. Everything's done in Atlanta. So for someone so prominent to be born here, and it's unfortunate they didn't film it here because this is where everything happened. Right. At least we got the opportunity to have the premiere here, and it brought faces down here, brought attention, and I think it was a good thing.
I think it was something, it was like it was really, a fundraiser for their foundation, to go towards the JAMP students. So, I think that was great that it can benefit the kids. And, hey, any kind of little, I feel like it was more like a, constellation, prize, because, we didn't get any filming, I think it would have been a great opportunity, not just for Augusta and the local economy, but talent that we have here to be able to, and not only on-screen talent, I'm saying that because I'm an actress, but behind the scenes too, we have so many great production companies here, and people that have experience behind the scenes. I think it would have been a great opportunity to have, we have a lot of independent credit, but if you could have credit with a major studio, that would be amazing. Right. That's true. So I think that would have been a great opportunity for us. But still, you take what you can get, and just hope that the next time, maybe we can.
Well, it was Carlton and I was actually on the red carpet yesterday, and we were asking all those questions. Why was it not filmed in Augusta? And we got the understanding that Chadwick Boseman, who played James Brown in the movie, he said when he became an actor, it may not be right or wrong for this situation, but he said when he became an actor that every major movie that he starred in would be filmed in his hometown to bring back money to the impoverished in his hometown. When he was Jackie Robinson, and when he was Jackie Robinson in that movie, it was filmed in his hometown. This movie was completely filmed in his hometown. He said that they actually got actors and actresses, and they did casting calls, but the film was going to be filmed in his hometown. They would make it look as much like Augusta as possible, but it would be filmed. I feel like that was a business move when the family should have came and said, we got to work something out. We need to film, maybe in his studio a little bit, or in his, his record place, or maybe just in his home. Right. Let him walk around his own home or whatever in parts of the movie, bits and pieces, kind of like they film anything else. But I just feel like that was a move that was behind the scenes, and we didn't quite understand it as a community in Augusta. But once the red carpet happened yesterday, I was like, okay, well, I kind of understand it, but it doesn't make it right. But I do understand, if he's the star and he said he wanted like this, you're gonna do it the way he want to do it.
I can agree on both sides.
And they filmed it in 35 days.
I think it's good that he's looking out for his hometown, but when you're capturing the life of such an iconic person, you need to do everything you can to make that come to life. Exactly. And if that means bringing it to a city that a lot of people may not care about, then that's what you need to do, because this is what he cared about.
Exactly. Right? So. And he was always, it was like, he was always very adamant and vocal about where he was from, and, supporting the hometown, even shouting out in his songs and stuff like that. So, I wish we could have had that.
Well, it was an amazing movie. I encourage everyone to go out and see it. I really can say that they did capture the legacy, and they really honored him, not just, the bad things that we know about James Brown, but he really, really did a great job. For 35 days for him to get the dances, the moves, the sound, everything together, I feel like it was really, really good.
Can I say something really, really quick? I just want to say now, at the after party, they had Keith Robertson and Brad James and Cindy Eddie Hart, and they were just saying that they are going to try to bring a production to Augusta. Yeah,
they did say that. They said they're going to try to bring a sequel here. With that being said, we want to thank you for joining us for KARLTON Says Live, the ladies edition. We're done for now. We ran out of time. So I'm Tamika Lampkin. Thank you for tuning in.
Shatareia Stokes
and Brittany Jenkins.
Thank you. Have a good day.